There's a kind of tired that sleep doesn't touch, because what's wearing you down isn't your body. It's having to care about everything, all the time. You check your phone, answer someone, go to work, think about money, think about who you're supposed to be becoming. And somewhere in there, a thought shows up that you don't say out loud. Do I actually have to keep caring about all this? You can still function while thinking it. Laugh with friends, finish your work, make dinner, and feel strangely absent from your own life the whole time. Nothing dramatic has to happen for that. Your life can look completely fine from the outside, and you can still be worn out by the job of staying interested in it. Maybe you felt it small. You get something you wanted, and instead of excitement, there's just quiet emptiness. You take a day off and end up scrolling anyway, because even resting feels like something you're supposed to know how to do. Someone asks what you want, and you realize you've spent so long answering what you should want that you've lost the thread of what wanting even feels like. I don't think the problem is always that life got too painful. Sometimes it just got expensive. Everything that matters costs something from you. A relationship costs attention. A career costs effort. Even happiness costs participation. When you're running low, ordinary life starts sending invoices. Reply to this person. Make that decision. Stay healthy. Have ambition. And somehow, you end up exhausted, paying for a life you supposedly chose in the first place. There's research that gets at this. Work on anhedonia has moved past "you can't feel pleasure" into something about motivation, about the willingness to spend effort on something rewarding. The reward might still be there. It's the price of reaching it that starts to feel too steep. You want to see your friends. You know you'll enjoy it once you're there. And you're still tired, just imagining the getting dressed, the getting there, the coming home to tomorrow waiting for you. The good part is on the other side of a hill, and your brain won't stop pricing out the climb. That shifts the question you're asking. Instead of, would this make me happy, you start asking, is this worth it? And it spreads. Is this conversation worth it? This relationship? This hobby? You get very good at calculating effort and not very good at knowing what you want. There's another layer under that one. People don't just need pleasure. They need their actions to feel like their own. Self-determination theory names 3 needs: autonomy, competence, relatedness. I have to do this because everyone expects it, and I'm choosing this because it matters to me, can be the exact same action. Your nervous system does not treat them the same, which might explain how someone can be exhausted while their life looks fine on paper. Always moving, very little of it chosen. A full calendar, a head full of borrowed wants. Get the degree, get the job, buy the house, stay fit, network, grow. You get extremely efficient at building a life, and somehow less sure it's yours. That's its own kind of empty. Camus had an image for this. Sisyphus pushing his rock up the hill, watching it roll back down every time. His point wasn't only that life is pointless. He was interested in what happens the moment someone actually notices the repetition, when the machinery of ordinary life stops being invisible. The commute, the meals, Monday again. Maybe the modern version of Sisyphus isn't pushing a rock. It's pushing towards some future that's supposed to finally make everything worth it. We tend to assume the fix for this is a bigger reason to live, a mission, a 5-year plan, a new identity. But if you're already tired from justifying your existence through achievement, another huge goal is just another hill. There's a quieter answer in the research on meaning. It isn't one big answer. Researchers break it into pieces like coherence, purpose, significance, understanding your life, having something to move toward, feeling like you matter. You don't necessarily get those back by discovering your destiny. Sometimes it's smaller. A conversation where you're fully yourself, making something with your hands, walking somewhere without turning it into exercise, being curious about something with no payoff, sitting with someone you love without trying to make it productive. These look small because they don't produce anything you can point to later. Maybe that's exactly why they work. And here's the part that's a little uncomfortable. Maybe you don't need to learn how to care more. Maybe you need to stop spending your whole life proving that what you care about is important enough to count. You don't have to turn every interest into a career, every relationship into a lesson, every morning into a productivity win. Sometimes you're tired because you've been treating your own existence like a project under permanent review. Acceptance and commitment therapy has a useful angle here, being able to hold difficult thoughts and feelings while still moving toward what matters to you, instead of waiting to feel motivated first. Some studies show real improvement in psychological flexibility from ACT-based work. The evidence isn't airtight, and it's not a cure for everything, but the core idea holds up, because you can spend years waiting to feel ready before you let yourself actually live, waiting for the excitement to come back, for purpose to arrive, for confidence to show up first, and the waiting becomes the life. Maybe the way back is smaller than any of that. Instead of what's the purpose of my life, try what feels worth 10 minutes of my attention today. Instead of what do I want to become, try what makes me feel a little more like myself. Meaning doesn't usually arrive as a revelation. It accumulates, one chosen thing at a time. If this has gone on a long time, especially alongside real emptiness, hopelessness, or changes in your sleep or appetite, that's worth bringing to a professional, not filing away as a personality flaw. This kind of exhaustion can overlap with depression, burnout, anxiety, and the difference matters more than it seems from the inside. Here's the part nobody says out loud enough. You can be tired of your life without wanting to lose it. Sometimes you're just tired of carrying the job of making everything mean something, tired of needing a reason for each morning, tired of performing enthusiasm when what you actually need is one moment that doesn't have to impress anyone. So maybe you don't need to fall back in love with life tomorrow. Maybe you just need to stop demanding it explain itself before you're allowed to experience it. A cup of tea can just be a cup of tea. A walk can go nowhere. You can care about something without monetizing it, without posting it, without turning it into proof you're becoming a better person. There's a difference between having no reason to live and having forgotten that a reason can be small. Sometimes the first sign you're coming back is nothing much. You want to hear a song again. You get curious about something useless. You laugh before you remember you've been feeling flat. Nothing's been solved. Something still moved anyway. If you've been feeling worn out by all this and want to talk about the small stuff, a walk, a song, a conversation that isn't going anywhere in particular, you can just say that. If this perspective made you see your own mind a little differently, take a moment to like this video and share it with someone who's still waiting for answers that may never come. And if you're fascinated by the hidden psychology behind human behavior, subscribe to Sci Scholar. Every week, we explore the invisible forces shaping the way we think, feel, and live. Until next time, keep questioning your mind before it quietly begins answering for you.